Someone who takes the law into their own hands and becomes judge, jury, and executioner. That is how I define an anti-hero. Venom is an anti-hero. This film is awesome. I really enjoyed this film a whole lot. I like the route that Sony is taking with these films, or with this film, because it seems like they're trying to create their own symbiote universe, and I like that. I think it's very original of them to go down that route. And of course, it's still too early to know if it's connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe or not. Personally, I think it can go both ways, whether it be a standalone film or it be connected to Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America. Either way, I thought the film was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Funny how critics slammed this movie and was very negative about it. Honestly, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I had no problem with the film at all. Of course, when you watch the film in the very beginning, it's kind of slow, but it's building up Eddie Brock. So sometimes you gotta give it its time to kind of flow the story. Let the story flow, let it run its course, and then as soon as Venom comes in, that's where the fun begins. I came in watching the film with low expectations, even after watching the trailers. I kind of knew that some origin films don't go very well. Green Lantern. But so my expectations were low, and I was new to this Venom character. I wasn't fully educated on Venom, just besides the fact that he, the symbiote does conform to Spider-Man at one point in the comics. Other than that, I had no clue about Eddie Brock. So this film was a great introduction to that story, because the storyline, the script, everything is very original. It's its own thing, which is what I like about this film. There are dark moments in the film, and very dark comedic moments as well, because, like I said, Venom's an anti-hero. He eats people, and he eats their heads. So there are times where Venom is talking inside of Eddie Brock's head, like, "Hey, let's go eat these people's heads," and he says stuff like that. He wants to eat people. He wants, it's pretty intense to kind of hear that, but it's all meant to be funny, and I wouldn't say it's lighthearted at all. But yes, this film is takes its story very serious. And yes, there are some times where it's kind of funny. But again, the film is a little dark. But other than that, I enjoyed the film. I think people with families can go and see this film without worrying about blood and gore, because Venom's a very, violent person. But I was very surprised this film was PG-13. And after the director hyped it up, oh, it's going to be R-rated, it's going to be like Deadpool, blood and gore. I was expecting something like that. I was like, oh man, this is going to be something new for Sony to be doing, something R-rated. And it wasn't. And I think Sony stepped in and was like, no, you're going to step back on the blood and gore. We're not going to do that. So they obviously stepped back. No blood. There's no gore in this film. But there's obviously a ton of fight scenes and violence that involves Venom and the villain. And I think this film does good as a PG-13 film. I think it does good. I don't think when it comes to anti-heroes like Venom, it doesn't have to be R-rated. It doesn't have to be, full of violence. It doesn't have to be full of, blood and all that stuff. I think you can do without it and still make it enjoyable, make it entertaining. And that's what this movie fulfilled. It made this movie entertaining. And I enjoyed it. Obviously, there's talks of Tom Holland, who's Spider-Man in the MCU. He's hanging out with the actors. I honestly don't know if they want to make Venom a part of Spider-Man. I'm not totally sure, but I think they don't have to. They can just make this Venom his own thing. And the one problem I had with this film is the fact was the romance between Eddie Brock and his fiance. That's the only thing I had a problem with. It didn't I didn't connect to it. I didn't want, it wasn't fleshed out is what I'm trying to say. The romance wasn't that great. It wasn't, like Wonder Woman and Steve type of romance, or it wasn't like Hulk and Betty Ross type of romance. I connect more with Betty Ross and Bruce Banner Hulk type of romance than I do with this film. I didn't care too much about this female role, this female actress in the movie. I didn't care about her. And I think writers, you really need to make a connection between the viewer and, the characters in the movie. You really need to create that connection more. It just seemed pretty forced to be honest. The whole fiance thing, them breaking up, him being heartbroken. And they did a good job showing that he was very heartbroken. I thought that was done very well. It's just, you gotta fight, If something like that happens, you lose your fiance, you gotta fight for her. And that wasn't done here very well. But other than that, that was the only problem I had was with the romance, which didn't really do a whole lot for me. Yeah, my favorite action scene in this film was the chase scene and the part where Venom was fighting the SWAT team. That was fantastic. And the villain, Riot, was awesome. His weaponry was excellent to use at certain circumstances. And yes, the film does show people getting their heads cut off, but it's done very fast. You can barely tell. No, again, no blood, no gore. The way they animated the symbiotes to flow like that, A plus. I like that. And again, I saw this film in 3D. It really gives you that flow of the symbiote, that effect. And again, when Venom and Riot are fighting, and you just see the symbiote, it's just going towards it's fantastic. Again, go see the film in 3D. It's awesome. And there are rumors that the film is going to have an unrated cut, which might include that blood and gore for those people who are kind of expecting that. It's a rumor. I'm not sure if it's true or not. Even if it is, I'll check it out. But we'll see about that. Alright, well, thanks for watching this film. I give this movie, Venom, 8 stars out of 10 stars. So, thanks for watching. Give this video a like, comment below. Let's talk about the Venom movie. And thanks for watching. Subscribe to White Hair Comics.